According to new surveys and focus groups held by a group in the states of Wisconsin and Arizona, a vast majority of voters have sent a very clear message to President Biden. And that message is crack down on the price gougers that are helping to drive up inflation. The focus groups, again, two swing states, Wisconsin and Arizona, they're going to the heart of these people who do not necessarily have a political allegiance one way or another. And they found that 74% of voters say they would be more likely to back a candidate who supports outlawing price gouging as a way to, quote, crack down on companies using inflation and the pandemic to raise prices. Voters facing pain at the pump become even more supportive when the surging profits of oil and gas companies are mentioned. That seems pretty straightforward, right? Americans understand right now that, yes, we have bad inflation, but inflation is being made worse by price gouging corporations, and these same Americans say, we want people that are going to crack down on this. And yeah, they're talking about candidates. President Biden, of course, is not a candidate right now, but it is a message to him. Do something about this. Go out there and talk about this. And to his credit, recently, at least with the gas price issue, he has been. He's mentioned it on Twitter. He's mentioned it in speeches. But that's only part of the story. You have all of these other price gougers out there who, according to their own earnings reports, they've admitted how much their prices went up due to inflation, but then they showed how much they raised their prices to compensate for that. And the amount extra that they paid is less than the amount that they rose their prices by, which means on average, you're looking at about a 15 to 25% increase in prices that is due to nothing more than corporate greed. It's not related to inflation at all. If corporations were only passing along the cost of inflation to consumers, it would be justified, right? If your prices go up, if it now costs you more money to, make a packet of ramen, then yes, you need to pass that on to the consumers, otherwise you will lose money. But if it costs you an extra $1 to make a gallon of milk, but then you raise that price by $1.50, then everything over that $1 is pure profit. It's going directly into your profits, not for any other reason than the fact that you can. And I have talked about this before. What happens when corporations do this, folks? After inflation subsides, which it will eventually subside, right? We're not just going to live with all this inflation for the rest of our lives. But even if it takes a year, and then the costs come down, they will only come down the cost of inflation, maybe even less. And you're going to go back and be like, oh, wow, milk's not $6.50 a gallon anymore. It's only $5.50 a gallon. Hey, yay, everything's back to normal. But what you're doing is you're forgetting that prior to this, it was $4.50 a gallon. So you're still getting price gouged by the corporations because they only dropped the price the amount of inflation that fell. They left their artificial inflation on there, and you're going to continue paying that forever, and that becomes the new base price. And by the way, we actually know that because corporations, CEOs, shareholders have come out and publicly admitted that they do that. And of course, we have talked about that here on Ring of Fire multiple times this year. That's what they do. And these surveys and focus groups are telling our government right now, do something about this or risk losing your job.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.